going to take up just a little bit of your time so we can ask you a couple of questions. And we got a couple of folks here who would very much like to check in and ask a few questions too. But could you tell me a little bit about where you're at and who you're with, Bryan?
I sure can. So first of all, my name is Bryan Barthelmess. I live up in Worland. I work for a company called McGarvin-Moberly Construction. We do heavy highway work. So we crush and pave highways for the DOT primarily. We do a little bit of commercial work here around Worland, but a majority of our work, probably 99+% is for the DOT. Okay. So my primary responsibilities are to oversee all the financial ongoings of the business. So I oversee payroll and AP, and then I'm directly involved in all the job costing and all the accounts receivable and processing job work and keeping tabs on progress and those type of things. Oh, I lost audio.
Can you hear me okay? How about now?
Oh, there we go. Yep, I got you now.
Yeah. So how'd you get started in this?
So actually, and I'll give you just, a little bit of my employment history. So after I graduated college, I went to Montana State University Billings, graduated with a business management degree, and then actually followed a dream to try to play professional golf for almost 5 years down in Phoenix. My wife was born and raised in Worland, and we decided to move back, and I actually got a job at a bank, was a loan officer there, had no experience really in banking, but got hired to come to the banking industry. And then I actually played golf with one of the main guys, one of the vice presidents here at McGarvin-Moberly, and they kind of approached me and said, "We've got an open position. Would you have any interest?" And I said, I don't know a whole lot about the construction industry, but I'd love to make that change. I grew up on a ranch in Montana, so that type of atmosphere was not foreign to me. The blue collar type, I guess, like I said, atmosphere is pretty comfortable for me. So it seemed a lot more of a fit for me personally than being in the banking industry. And it's been really, really good to be out here. I have a completely new perspective on road construction. I can guarantee you that. I used to look at it as a negative, and now it's a completely different animal. It's a completely necessary thing for us, and our company does good work.
Oh, that's great to hear. Go ahead, Ethan.
Would you recommend going to college, or do you think it's better to maybe not go into debt? Or if you can't get scholarships, do you think it's better to not go to college, or should you still go into debt for it to have the education?
So great question. I think that depends on your interests. If your interests are in the trades, for example, plumbing, electrician, construction, those type of things, I think there are places to go that you can either, especially right now, basically every company that I know of that is in the trades, they are hiring right now. And they are hiring people who are motivated, who want to work, and those are exceptional opportunities. We've got 4 or 5 friends of ours that own smaller, like I said, plumbing and electrical businesses here in town, and we're a town of 5,000 people, and they're always trying to hire people. Now, if your interests are to are in finance or are in those kind of things, then it becomes a situation where you kind of have to evaluate it from a personal spot. Are you willing to take on that debt? Something that wasn't ever explained to me when I was coming out of high school was okay, college is something that it's an opportunity that's out there, but you also I wasn't educated personally on, okay, Bryan, here's your major. Here's what you will make after you graduate. Is that enough to service the debt to pay the debt you're going to take on, plus your monthly living expenses, whether that's rent or, buying a house or those type of things. And those are, like I said, Ethan, that's a great question. I would highly suggest. So here's another thing that in my history is a little unique. I was on track to go to college right out of high school, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I decided to take a year off. My dad runs an outfitting business, and I helped him with the outfitting business and took a year off. And a lot of the people in my life, including our guidance counselor when I was in high school, said, don't do that. You'll never go to college if you don't go right out of high school. And I did. I took a year off, kind of decided that I wanted to get into business. I wanted to be a business guy, whether that meant owning my own business or what that meant. I wasn't 100% sure, but I knew I had a passion for how businesses run and what they do. And because of that, and then I was playing sports in college as well, I had an opportunity to go to a junior college, which is, again, another way of trying to keep the costs down, to go to a 2-year school and get your basics kind of taken care of before you get into specialty type training. That's another one I would highly suggest personally, because that really worked well for me, was going to a 2-year school, community college first, if college is what you want to do. Plus that gives you a taste of college without the 4-year school debt load, I guess, for lack of a better way to put that. And we've got some great community colleges in the state of Wyoming too. So I think that's a huge opportunity. And lots of people go to those 2-year schools and then go get a career type job. So a bunch of different ways to go about it. But some things that have to be decided in your own situation as well.
I know at the Casper Community College, they offer some like trade schools, and I know with welding, at least, you don't necessarily have to go to trade school, and the company itself can test you. But how much more likely am I to get hired if I were to go to trade school? Is it worth like paying for trade school, or is it better just to learn and then just show the company itself that I can weld?
Another great question. I think that's a situation where I would ask the prospective employer. So for us, I can speak directly from us. You would be of more value right away if you had some sort of training. Like we run heavy equipment and stuff like that. So if you went to a place that trained you to run heavy equipment, immediately your starting wage would be higher with our company than it would be if you had no experience running heavy equipment at all. So I would guess that would probably be similar in the field of welding, but I couldn't speak to that directly, but I know, like I said, from our perspective, you would make more money right away as an equipment operator than you would, because we wouldn't be able to put you in equipment right away until we trained you how to run it. So you would come in as a laborer idle until we could train you to run the equipment.
Okay, well, thank you for that insight.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, looks like we had somebody else come on. If you guys had any other questions, Grace or Audric?
Yeah, I was wondering, what position did you start in with the company, and have you moved up since then?
So yes, the position I started with was essentially a controller, which means overseeing the financial part of, or financial piece of the business. But it was more, the position I started with was more of handling just the accounts receivable, which means money coming in, and then managing the contracts and those things. Now I have progressed. My title is Vice President of Administration. I oversee all of the financial goings on of the company. And I've also actually been provided the opportunity to buy in, which means I'm one of the shareholders of the company now as well. I've been here for 7 years. So that was kind of the progression there. Like I said, started as just handling basically what came across my desk. And now I'm managing the entire financial process and all the activity that goes on from a financial perspective as well. And then I also help manage the company as far as what our goals are, what our strategies are to be better, and those type of things. Now I'm in those conversations and take part in an active role in those.
It's amazing. That's a great question, Grace. Audric, did you have anything else?
I was gonna ask if construction would be like a good start. Like if you don't know what you're gonna do when you get out of high school, it would be a good start to go into.
Okay. Yeah, great question. Again, you guys are asking some really, really good stuff. Yes, I would say absolutely it is. It's a great place to start. So, and I'm going to answer your question with a bit of a story. So our company predominantly works in the summer. We have a guy that's about my age. I'm 40 and he's pretty close to my age, who started in the construction business in the summers in between school. So he graduated high school, got a job with a highway construction company out of Lovell, and he worked summers. And he worked 5 summers in a row with this same company. And going into his 4th year, he was still debt free through 3 years, had been able to pay all of his college, all of his tuition and fees and books, and all of his room and board with what he made in the summers with construction. And by the time he got through 3 years of that, the company that he had worked those 3 years for helped him pay for part of his schooling for the last 2 years. Yes, it's an excellent place to start. And I think the thing that's really nice is it's versatile and applies to no matter what you want to do. If you want to work summers so that you can pay for your college education, that's great. If you want to get into a career in construction right out of high school, there's an opportunity for you to do that as well. If you want to pick up a construction job in between other jobs, that there's an opportunity there too. You know, I think that's just the benefit of these opportunities. You know, like I said, the trades are always hiring, and they're very good jobs. For example, our company, when you come to work for us full time, we pay 100% of your health insurance, which is health, dental, and vision. We also have a 401k benefit as well. And then we're actually an employee-owned company. So the company contributes to what's called an employee stock ownership plan. 14% of your salary every year gets contributed to that plan as essentially a retirement account, or however you choose to use it. So there are so many opportunities. And when you take into consideration all that goes into them, not only do they pay well, but the benefits are really strong as well.
Well, thank you for that insight.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks, guys. That's been really awesome there. Go ahead, Bryan.
I was just going to say, something that I did, when I actually enrolled in college, like I said, a year after I graduated high school, one of the things that I did, I was interested in business. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I think there is some, if you're not 100% sure what you want to do, it's okay. I guess just to kind of give my opinion on that, it's okay to do something fairly general. Like I said, my degree was in business management. It wasn't in, it wasn't drilled way down into something specific in business. It was business management because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I had a college guidance counselor tell me once that Bryan, you get the training and the degree, and the company that you go to work for will train you to what they want you to do. If you show up and you bring a good work ethic and a positive attitude and you are a benefit to the people around you, they will train you to do whatever, and you will excel in what you're doing. And that's something I really took serious from him. And that's kind of why I ended up, like I said, with a business management degree as opposed to something, drilled way down and super specific. That's a little bit more difficult to find jobs when your degree gets super specific.
What's a decision that you've made that has been like really beneficial to the company?
What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch the beginning of that, Ethan.
What's a decision that you've made that has been very beneficial to the company?
Okay, another great question. So we had our health insurance policy that we had about 3 years ago. Now this will just give you something you don't think about as an employee very much, is what your health insurance actually costs the company. 3 years ago, the health insurance, we were in a corporate trust where a bunch of companies from around Wyoming were in the same health insurance policy or health insurance carrier. And I started doing some research because I saw how much we were spending on health insurance. We spent, and I believe in 2017, we spent $1.2 million on health insurance by itself for our employees. Obviously you see that number and you think, holy cow, we got to try to figure out something different. So I went and I talked to our people and I said, would you give me the opportunity to go shop our insurance and go try to find something better? And after about 4 months worth of shopping, we found an insurance company that was a policy that was going to be better for us and better for our employees. And from 2017 to 2018, we saved almost $500,000. So $500,000 in 1 year. And that was a, I don't want to say driven by me necessarily, but I did all the footwork and kind of came up with the idea that we need to try to do what's best for our company as opposed to what's best for this health insurance trust that we were involved in. And it made a huge difference in our company and in our profitability as a company because of that.
Wonderful. Grace, you had a question, I believe? Or maybe not.
Sorry, I was on mute. I thought I was on speaking. I was just wondering, like you said that most of the work you do is during the summer. So do you have any like projects you do during the other months of the year?
So we do. What happens because we create so much wear and tear on our equipment during the summer. So in a normal year, we will employ somewhere between 70 and 80 people during the summer. And then we keep somewhere between 40 and 50 throughout the winter. About 10 of those, so we run our crusher and all of our stuff is mobile. So you'll see McGarvin-Moberly signs all over the state if you drive around very much in the summer. But our crusher is mobile as well. So our crusher will run all winter long. And then also we bring a fairly large amount of our employees back into the shop to do mechanic work on our equipment once we get done paving for the season. So we've got people who might be an equipment operator in the summer, but in the winter they're paver mechanic or a wheel loader mechanic or something like that. So yes, we do have some layoffs. We lay off about not quite a third of our employees from the summer. We lay them off normally sometime in October, and then would hire them back if they want to come back to work for us back in March or April.
So what is the longevity of some of your employees? Are they usually long-term because it's seasonal? I mean, short-term because it's seasonal, or long-term?
So we have a really high rate of return bringing people back. Yes, seasonal is difficult. There is no question about that. But the percentage of people that come back year after year is actually really high. I would bet in my, like I said, my 7 years here, I would bet our rate of return is somewhere between 60 and 70% of our seasonal employees come back the next year. And not a lot of companies see that. They're probably somewhere in the 25 to 50% range. A real high number there is probably 50. And we bring back somewhere close to 70 most years, just because it's a really good company to work for. The company takes good care of its employees. And we do, and I'm saying this is not about me at all. Our field people, the people that actually lay down the asphalt, they're the best in the business and run really good, really efficient crews, and people just like working for our people out in the field. It is, like I said, the seasonal nature is difficult, but again, what happens is when we have people come in and go to work for us, and they spend a summer showing up on time, working hard, having a good attitude, those are the people that we keep full time, year in and year out. They'll be working 12 months out of the year for us. So it's a lot about the desire to work and the desire to have a good attitude. I truly believe that that's a choice. A good attitude isn't something that's natural. I think we choose that. We choose a good attitude. We choose to have a positive work ethic or a strong work ethic. And that's in this company specifically, that is very much rewarded. We had a young guy start with us in 2020 and started as a laborer, and not a whole lot. If we have a laborer that works for us all summer, not a whole lot do we bring those guys into the shop to work full year round. And he was a rock star. Wasn't late one time the entire year, worked hard, had a good attitude. Yeah, some days are tougher than others, but he had a good attitude, showed up on time, and now he's working full time 12 months out of the year for us and has moved up to an equipment operator. So he's making $5 or $6 more an hour and is working full time on a job that he started. He would have been a 6 month a year job. So there's opportunity for sure. Just showing the desire and those type of things are huge for us. And I know that's the case for other industry as well.
Awesome. That is great, Bryan. I want to thank you so much for your time. And Audric, Grace, and Ethan, thanks so much for having these amazing questions. But overall, I think that we learned quite a few things today. And Bryan, of course, we may be in touch down the road to keep some of these sessions going. But I really want to thank you again for your insight and for taking the time to help us out.
Absolutely. And I truly do mean this anytime. This is something that I'm very passionate about. I've spent some time in Worland High School talking to them and their teachers and that stuff about it. So please, if you have kids that have questions or people that have questions, anybody, I'm more than willing to talk to them at any time. It's something that's really important. And I truly believe this, really important for our state and for our nation to have people that are stepping into these jobs and the amazing opportunities that are going to be out there for people that do.
That's amazing, and we appreciate it. So thank you again, Bryan, and we won't take up too much of your time now, so you have a great day.
All right, you guys too. Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Bryan.